How's it going, super friends, and welcome back to my channel. What you see before you today here, my custom 1/12 collective Mezco Superman was made possible by Tony May and Phoenix 5 Art. The suit itself was tailored by Tony May, and you can see he's done a fabulous job in giving us a more Christopher Reeve inspired / comic accurate Superman costume in comparison to the Mezco version, which has obviously had a lot of artistic license poured into it. Now, a lot of fans, though happy with the poetic license taken with the design of the boots, were not so pleased with the belt and brief situation. A lot of people wishing they had have done to Superman like they did with Batman, making the briefs a separate piece that fits over top of the onesie. And so along comes artists like Tony, who are fans themselves, who tailor these suits for other fans who are not quite satisfied with the offerings that Mezco has given us in the first place. Not only does he do 1/12 scale figures, but he also does 1/6 scale as well. If you look on his Instagram and Facebook page, you will see many examples of his excellent work, and I do encourage you to go check out his Instagram and Facebook and follow and like those pages. Now, the suit that Tony crafted for me here was actually one of two options I could have chose. There was a darker blue and then there was a lighter blue. I chose the lighter blue because I'm always a fan of the blue when it's lighter and not as much when it's darker. He used the belt buckle from my original Mezco Superman, but crafted a new belt complete with belt loops and also, as you can see, trunks. This suit is also clearly inspired by the Christopher Reeve Superman because the S on his chest, the shape of it actually gives that away. This is not a comic book S, this is a Christopher Reeve S. And the same goes for the back as well. There's an S on the back, just like on the Mezco version, only this is the Christopher Reeve version of the S. You will notice there's a little bit of red that bled into the yellow, which is kind of strange. Mine showed up like that. I'm assuming that that is not what happens to everyone's, because I've seen plenty of examples of Tony's Superman work and that's never happened, so mine's probably not the norm. As for the suit itself, you can see that it's a very tight fit, and that's an option that I opted for. There are two options. You can go for a tighter fit suit or one that is slightly looser, more akin to the actual Mezco release of Superman. I opted for the tighter one because I wanted to see more definition in his muscles, his abs, his pecs, all that kind of thing, and it's sewn, as you can see here, really tightly up the back. Much like Superman's suit, Tony made the cape out of a high-quality ball-resistant fabric, and there is a lot of it when you unfurl it. It actually makes that half circle like it's supposed to, and it tucks fabulously into Superman's collar line and drapes nicely over his shoulders and back. All in all, it's a fabulous suit, and I'm incredibly happy with it. And if it wasn't for Tony, I wouldn't have a more comic-accurate / Christopher Reeve-style Superman Mezco action figure. So many thanks to Tony for tailoring this fabulous suit. Now, the head sculpt itself is clearly inspired by the artwork of Jim Lee and is sculpted by Tony May, though not painted by him. The head sculpt is painted by Rick Jasso of Phoenix 5 Art. And just taking a quick scroll down his Instagram page, you can see the fabulous work that this fella does. Just tremendous work. So between the work that Tony and Phoenix has done, this is a fabulous looking head sculpt. Now, one thing that a lot of us collectors have in common is that we also do a little bit of kit bashing. So if you're anything like me, you haven't been able to keep your hands to yourself, and you've probably popped a few different heads on this body already, regardless of whether you've had the costume changed or not. I've tried a multitude, but the one you're looking at right here is a Gary Frank Superman head that is clearly inspired by the look of Christopher Reeve. I figured I had to try it on here since the suit itself is a Christopher Reeve inspired suit. I think it looks okay on there. The skin tone isn't exactly the same. The Superman head sculpt is a little bit more olive in tone, but I think it looks pretty good on there as is. I may keep it on there, I may not. I'm not sure. I'm always fiddling with things. The next head that I put on there is actually just a basic comic style Superman head that came off of a DC Direct Superman, part of a Justice League 4-pack. The same figure that, as of right now, is housing the head sculpt that was based on Jim Lee's likeness that Tony sculpted and Phoenix painted. As a side note, I think that the Jim Lee head sculpt actually looks better on this larger, bulkier frame. I'll probably keep it on there for a while. Now, as for the comic accurate head, I may keep that on there as well. I'm not exactly sure. It does seem to be a tad too big for the body, but again, I mean, when you look at the size of the Superman's feet and the width of his hips and shoulders, it almost seems like the head would be the right size, but the figure itself just might not be tall enough for this head. At any rate, I'm a kit basher, so I'm always fiddling with things, so who knows what head will be on this body next week. Bottom line is, I think that commissioning Tony to make this suit was a way better idea than just keeping the factory suit on here. It really does give that figure a much more classic Superman look in comparison to the one that Mezco made that they've used a lot of artistic license in. But yeah, with that, I think we're done the video, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch it. If you found this video useful, entertaining, enlightening, or even a reasonable waste of time at all, please take the time to leave a like on it. If you have anything to say about this figure at all, please leave it down in the comments section below. And finally, if you think you'd like to become a super friend and join the DC squad, just hit the subscribe button. Remember to ding the bell so that you never miss a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a super day. Take care.